And welcome back to Jeff Kananga Live here at Citizen Television. On the bench tonight, if you're a student of history, you are tuned in to the right show, because my guest today can literally be described as a fly on the wall. That's right, 40 years of service in 2 administrations. He was there in the corridors of power. He has dined with kings and queens. He has been to almost every capital on the planet. And I tell you, the stories he tells in this book called The President's Pressman, you need to pick it up, because it is a treasure trove of the last half century of Kenyan politics. You will love this read. It's beautifully written. And Njiru, the man himself, who just turned 75 yesterday, comes here to tell us some of those stories. You're going to love them. You're going to be laughing. You're going to be on the ground, because he tells them in such a flowery way. He says it's all prose. Njiru.
Yes.
Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you.
Karibu sana.
Asante. And before we go on,
yes,
and before I forget,
yes,
I want to bring greetings to you.
Okay.
People who love you.
Oh, thank you.
People who listen to you very keenly.
Yes.
And one is our colleague in the profession, the mighty Sammy Louis.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
how is Sammy Louis?
He's doing great.
Yeah?
He's okay.
I'm in Salimia.
Sana. Na mwingine, somebody got a message for you.
Yes.
From Stanley Kamau, Dr. Stanley Kamau. Doctor, the guy who deals...
The jigger man.
The jigger man.
Yes.
Doing a great job.
Oh.
Yes, they like you. They told me you must and you shall listen. If you don't pass our greetings to the mighty Jeff, we will slaughter you. So, yes.
Nimesalimika.
Asante.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
So,
yes.
You have done it all, Lee.
Yes.
You have done it all.
Yes.
I want to start with tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow is August the 22nd.
Yes.
And you are a man who knows dates, times,
yes,
and events.
Yes.
August 22nd, 1978.
Yes.
Where were you?
I was in Mosambweni, in Kwale. At that time, we had taken Kenya's ambassadors, high commissioners, and envoys abroad who had come back to Kenya from briefing by Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. We took them to Mosambweni to go and watch traditional dances. In the afternoon, that is where Kenyatta collapsed in the washroom.
In the washroom?
In the washroom.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, whenever there is a presidential days, at the back, the public works builds a makeshift but elaborate washroom for a head of state.
Yep.
That is where Mzee Jomo Kenyatta collapsed. I remember that one vividly. When he overstayed, Mahehu, Eliud Muchoki Mahehu, PC, was then the provincial commissioner. They went in to check, together with the ADC, the late Sam Gichamba Macharia. They had to dress him up.
Because he had collapsed completely?
He had collapsed. But then when they lifted him, he came round. And then we had to stop any further engagements with the dancers. And now Kenyatta was asked to say Harambee. And it was the loudest I've ever heard. And what was actually very annoying is that Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was not taken to hospital, because it is expected that if a person collapses, you take him to hospital. So Kenyatta was taken back to State House Mombasa.
All the way from Kwale?
All the way from Kwale. And then was put to bed and tucked in. And you know, by that time, Jomo Kenyatta used to be entertained by dancers and choirs and comedians.
Every evening.
Every evening, without fail.
Yeah.
They were cancelled. Is confident. And his brother-in-law, the Minister of State, by the name Bio Kainange. You share the name.
Yes.
He left Mombasa for Nairobi.
That same day.
That same night, by Kenya Airways. So the question I ask myself up to today, what was that compulsion which was of more urgency and greater than Jomo Kenyatta's health? That is what happened.
You think they should have done more for him, eh?
They should have done more for him. They should have taken to hospital. Yeah. You know, Pandia Memorial Hospital is just across the road from Mombasa State House. And that is a question which nobody has ever answered.
In 46 years.
Yes, they have never answered. And I believe that it was the Constitution of Kenya which is to blame. Because by that time, the Constitution demanded that nobody should imagine the death of a president.
Correct.
And people took it literally. People took it literally.
They never thought Kenyatta would die.
No. You're not supposed to imagine. You are never allowed to imagine. It was treasonable. Yes. They would string you up if they knew you were thinking about the death of a president.
Yes.
They would string you up.
Even by thinking, even by
thinking, even there were psychologists. And you know, people feared Jomo Kenyatta.
Yes.
Because you know, his book, a seminal work, Facing Mount Kenya. Facing Mount Kenya. Which is in the bookshops up to now.
Yeah.
There is a paragraph where Kenyatta describes himself as a psychologist. And he said even he married his wife, the first one, in 1919, Grace Wahoo.
Yeah.
Yes, by using magic. He has written it. And you know, when Kenyatta was in prison, he was mystified. Even we used to be told that if Kenyatta looks at you like this, you would know what you are thinking. And we were told that his eyes were on the forehead. And you know, he had not gone to school with anybody who was known. Even the rite of passage, nobody knew with whom he went for the rite of passage.
Yes.
So Kenyatta was a mystery. So people thought that if you thought that he would die or would be sick, Kenyatta would know. Yeah. So he was feared. And you know, very few people were educated. Very few people were analytical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because being analytical was not even allowed.
So now, 3:30 in the morning, I remember the time because we all woke up to traditional choir singing.
Yes.
And it was so much huzuni across the nation.
Yes. And you see now, his comptroller, the comptroller of State House, who was supposed to look after him, and his physician, Dr. Eric Mungola, they were at Karibamba. Yeah. Drinking. Until, in fact, Daniel Arap Moi knew about the death of Kenyatta earlier than the comptroller.
And where was Daniel Arap Moi? Was in Nakuru or where was he?
He was in Nakuru, in Kabara. Yes. In Kabara.
And he knew before these people?
Yes, he knew before these people. Even he knew before Bio Kainange.
Whoa.
Yes, because Mahehu, when he got the message that Kenyatta had died, he got in touch with Moi. Yes, and he told him Kenya has closed its eyes. And Moi got the message. Where
were you?
I was in the State House. But by that time, I was staying in a hotel called the Mickey's Hotel in Digo Road.
Yes.
So I got a telephone call. There were no mobiles by that time.
No.
So they telephoned the operator because they knew where I was. I was told to report to State House immediately. That was about 4:35 a.m. When I got to the gate, I got the message because I could see from afar an ambulance. And then knowing the condition of Jomo Kenyatta the previous day, I knew the guy was a goner.
Oh.
Yes. Oh. And you know the previous day, on that 22nd, we had an official lunch. He had hosted a luncheon for the envoys.
And the diplomats and all those.
The diplomats,
yes.
The diplomats.
Yes.
Diplomats abroad. Yeah.
Yes.
When he was leaving the dining room, he did not use the usual door. He came through the back door. He came through the kitchen, and then there was a commotion. And then he tried to climb the stairs to go to his bedroom, which was on the first floor. Well, he could not climb at once. So he had to rest somewhere in between, and he was out of breath. And then when he went to his room, he came down, went to the ferry, Likoni ferry, and then he realized that he had forgotten his fly whisk, which was his trademark. Yes? So a car had to be sent back to collect it.
To collect the fly whisk?
To collect the fly whisk. But you see, these people could not get it. Jeff, when you see people having big titles, wearing suits, they can also be stupid at the same time. Those people had big titles, they had money, they had power. But then they could not discern such urgent requirements by Mr. Jomo Kenyatta. Because you see, they used to use the name of Jomo Kenyatta as a mirror card to threaten the people in bars, to go and collect materials from stores.
And money.
And money. Yes, they were crooks, most of them. They were hyenas.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they neglected this man, didn't they?
They neglected this man. You see, even when we were in Nairobi, let's say going to Nakuru, Kenyatta had just a nurse called Isabella Wangui. She had no medicine. She had no car. But then you find there were police women, very beautiful, just flower girls. Yes. And they were of no functional use. But Isabella Wangui, was not properly funded.
She had nothing. She had no
nothing.
Medicines,
nothing.
Not even Panadol.
Not even Panadol. Not even Panadol.
And she was the nurse.
The nurse. Yes. It's pathetic.
Shame.
It's pathetic.
Shame.
And you know, when I talk about that one, people want to, people get angry with me. But I tell them, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there.
I was reporting from the inside.
Yeah.
I was an insider.
Correct.
Yes, I was recording everything.
You were inside.
Inside.
You know, Lee, I want to fast forward because you mentioned the fly whisk.
Yes.
That was forgotten in the room upstairs.
Yes.
And there's a story, a beautiful story you tell.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to fast forward, but I have to do that because it's a segue to this. When Moi stepped off the plane, I think it was in Los Angeles or somewhere.
Yes.
And his rungu fell. The ivory rungu fell and broke. That story.
Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
In 1981, there was the 34th United Nations General Assembly. The leader of Kenya's delegation was Professor Julia Auma Ojiambo. When she got to New York, she was not allowed to participate.
Because?
She was told by the then Secretary General, the Austrian, Kurt Waldheim,
yes,
you cannot participate because you don't have the credentials, no letters of credence. she telephoned back home that she could not participate. Then Mr. Moi called me, he told me, I'm sending you on a very serious mission. I'm sending you to Dr. Kuti Valodheim to take Julia Ojiambo's letters of credence.
That was your job?
That was my job.
To take some credentials?
Credentials. There were no emails by that time.
No.
1981.
No WhatsApp.
So he signed. And then I was given money, this size. Yeah. And then I went to a shop in CBD, Central Business District. I bought a polo neck. And then I put the documents here. And then a bell to make sure that they were there.
Okay.
I was put on a British Airways, first class.
First class?
First class. When I arrived in London, I was met by none other than the High Commissioner, Chandra Kakimal, in London.
This is at
yes,
Heathrow.
And remember, it was not me who was being met.
No.
It was that document sent in green ink.
Moise.
Yeah, that one could even give you 100 acres in a minute. That ink could make you a millionaire in a second.
The green ink.
The green ink, my friend. Not a joke.
No.
Yes, I was put on another plane, first class, another British Airways.
From Heathrow?
From Heathrow.
To JFK?
Yes, in New York. Do you know who met me?
In New York?
3 people. High-powered delegation.
Go on.
Charles Maina, Kenya's permanent rep to the UN. His deputy, Francis Kasina, and the press attaché, Kumbu Chokwe. And do you know where I was put?
Tell me.
One of Astoria.
Oh, my goodness. Right there.
One of Astoria is about 600,000 shillings a day. You know where it is?
I know it is. All right off of Park Avenue on the 40s. Yes. I know where Waldorf
And
Astoria.
that was not Njiru. That was a document. And then from there, I was taken to Kuti Valodheim.
Did you say 600,000 shillings a day?
Yes. You check.
Guy.
You check. That is power. Yeah. But then, it was not my power. It is the power of the document.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still in your...
And the signatory. And it was here.
It was still in your polo neck.
Yes.
Still
So when I delivered the document, I went back to the hotel.
You delivered it to Kurt Waldheim?
Yes. With Julia Ojiambo. Yeah. So I telephoned Moi. I asked him, what do I do? I've already given the document.
Mission accomplished.
To Kurt Waldheim.
Yes.
He told me, just stay there.
Huh?
Just stay in New York. I'll come and find you there. After 1 week, he came. 1
week?
Yes.
What were you doing for the week?
But I was 32 years old. So don't ask him any questions. I was painting in New York red. For the 2 years.
Wow.
With the power.
Yes.
And the money. And the young blood.
My goodness.
And the screaming hormones.
Screaming. So Moi comes after a week?
Yes, he comes there.
And then?
He addresses the meeting.
And he finds you there?
He finds me there. I cover the meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. And then from there we go to Washington. Yeah. Just to rest for a few days.
Okay.
And then we were given a sumptuous lunch by the then mayor, who was a cocaine smoker.
Yeah, I remember him.
Marion Barry.
How do you remember these names?
Yes.
Marion Barry.
Yeah, Marion Barry.
Yes.
Then from there we went to Los Angeles. Yeah. And then we were staying at the Hotel Bonaventure.
Bonaventure.
And then we were given another sumptuous lunch by the mayor.
Of L.A.?
Yes, of L.A. And then from there, when Mzee was going downstairs and was holding the balustrades, his ivory button fell and it broke into two. And then, that was a symbol of authority. Symbol of authority.
Yes.
It was broken. And you know where we were going to? We were heading for Melbourne.
For Commonwealth or what was
Commonwealth Conference.
Yes.
For the Commonwealth Conference.
Right.
And we could not travel without the rungu. So now we had, of course, to lay over in Hawaii, Honolulu.
Yes.
Yeah? So Moi told me, can we have this rungu repaired? I said, it is not possible. This is ivory.
You can't put like a
You cannot put
sellotape
sellotape,
or...
yeah, no. It would look very bad. You know? So I telephoned Peter Otich in Nairobi. He was Moi's personal assistant, one of them. So I told him, see Jude Maloba, the secretary, see whether there are some ivory patterns, spare ones. Luckily there were two. So I told Peter, take both of them, take a plane, get money from the government, go to Harare. By that time, Harare had been renamed Harare. You know, it was Salisbury.
Correct, Salisbury, yes.
It was Salisbury.
Correct.
Yeah, so he went there, and then he took Qantas, Australian Airlines.
Yes.
And, you know, he flew across Southeast Asia. And, you know, we were monitoring. So we took a plane.
From, you're still in Hawaii?
In Hawaii. So we were monitoring. So we flew for about 15 hours to Sydney. Yeah. Sydney now, we found Peter on the tarmac.
In Sydney?
In Sydney.
He had arrived before you?
Yes, he had to. Because we had to find the room there. Then he boarded the plane. He boarded the plane. And then he gave Mzee the rungu and the spare one in a briefcase. So he came out waving. The Kenyans were waiting for him.
Like nothing had happened?
Like nothing had happened.
What?
Yes. Then from there we went to Melbourne. Yes, Victoria Hotel. That is where we were watching the assassination of Anwar el-Sadat.
Anwar Sadat.
Anwar el-Sadat.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Anwar el-Sadat.
In that parade.
In that parade.
Remember?
Yes, in that parade, yeah. You know why? Because he had begun talking to the Israelis.
Correct.
Yes, and
absolutely.
you know, fundamentalists don't want anything to do with Israel.
Yes.
Yeah, so they shot him. From there now, Mzee went for a retreat with other heads of state in Canberra. He surrounded only one person. So I was that person.
He asked you?
Yes. You know why? I can take photographs. I can powder his socks. I can wash his handkerchief and iron.
You were everything. You were
Everything.
Kadayamoko.
Yes, Kadayamoko. Yes, factotum. Kadayamoko, I can do anything.
So you went with him to Adelaide?
Yes, I did that one. Then we came back to collect other people. Yes. And that is, and you know, also when we were going there, he had taken with him a few old men, like Kariuki Chotara, there, Akina Nganga Kehonge. You see, I was in charge of Nganga Kehonge because they don't speak English.
Yeah.
They don't speak English.
No.
Yeah. And you know why he was taking these old men? You know, people were complaining. Why is Moi taking these old men, illiterate? Ezekiel Bangetun, Molo Motisia, Kariuki Chotara, Nganga Kehonge, Elisha Akech from South Nyasa. Do you know why he was taking them there?
Why?
He told me why. In London. He told me why. He told me. Why are people complaining that I'm taking these old men? When we're in a place like London, a place like New Delhi, a place like Melbourne, New York, you people are young. When you finish official duties, you go to Soho, you go to Brooklyn, and such places.
Yes.
And you go and you play mischief. You leave me alone. He said, there are some things I cannot talk to you about. It would be somebody like Kalonzo Musyoka here. He's my foreign minister. He's the same age as my daughter Jennifer. There are some subjects I cannot discuss with him because history is not optical. Even if you stand on top of the Kenyatta Convention Center, you cannot see 1940. So I have to talk to Mbangetuni. He can tell me about 1939 during the breakout of the Second World War because he saw service in Penang, in Malay, Burma, and such like. I can talk to Mulu Motisia about 1920 and about 1930 Yes, because I cannot stay alone. And that is why I like stabilize the country. And that is what we are missing now.
That's a good point.
Talking to all the men.
Yes.
Yes.
Old wise men.
All the wise men.
Yeah, who can guide.
Yes.
And give you some wisdom.
Yes, who can give you some wisdom.
Yeah.
Yes, and the proverbs.
And proverbs.
Yes, because I was talking to another station yesterday. I was telling them, any leader who does not know proverbs isn't efficient. Because proverbs are a distillation of traditional wisdom. And they have been tested over time. And they are put in such a succinct and sometimes poetic version.
Yes.
For ease of remembrance, like no pain, no gain.
Correct.
Look before you leap.
Yes.
Yes.
Simple.
As teaching time.
Saves 9.
Yeah. Yeah. There is no positive reward for arrogance.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And they are put so succinctly.
Yes.
That is lacking. That is even our children do not know proverbs. They do not know mother tongue. They do not know proverbs. That is where we go wrong.
Tell me something, Lee. When you look at what happened in the last month,
Yes.
With the demonstrations, the Gen Zs, and everything that's happened, in that state house, if you were there, what would you have done?
If you are in Kenya then, during the time of Daniel Arap Moi, almost twice a week, Mr. Moi was calling university students every week, every other day, to Campanati Gardens, if it was Egerton, and talk to them. Tell them about our problems, what he expected them to do, and why he was doing what he was doing. And every trip, we used to take with us Malaysia, New York, a few students with us, so that they could see what is happening. Now, the problem with us, and I do not know what the government is going to do. The problem of Gen Z is dire. And the biggest problem we have, as I have said earlier, is our system of education. There is nothing wrong with reading history, geography, and such like. But imagine, in the rural areas, or everywhere in Kenya, we got thousands of MCAs, members of county assembly. All of them have got cars. They have got refrigerators, television sets, modern toilets, mobile phones. All those need repair. We need plumbers. I run a resort called Cherinam Resort. I build, I repair, I extend. Do I have a need for a geographer? For a zoologist? For a historian?
No.
What do I have to do with the Vasco da Gama, Marco Polo, Walter Raleigh, Ferdinand Magellan, Christopher Columbus? I have nothing to do with them. I need somebody who is going to repair my refrigerator. I need somebody who is going to repair my car. I need somebody who is going to change my lock if I lose my key. I need somebody who can even actually repair my shoes if I need to. If the system of education does not change, we don't have a panacea for this problem. And remember, we have university graduates who left the campus 15 years ago. No job.
To this day.
To this day. And they are very angry. They are very angry. Karl Marx, what did he say? Tell the masses, you have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Except your chains.
Correct.
you can change that statement and say, you have nothing to lose except your miserable life. If your life is abandoned to you, to hell with it. I sympathize with the current administration. They have a big, big problem. You know, the Gen Z problem is not over yet. It's just a lull before another storm.
I was about to say that. Calm before the storm.
Yes. It's a problem. But I blame the system of education because, you see, and many people, now the GNC is that because they haven't got the nerve and the energy, to shout.
Yeah.
People in the rural areas are not happy. You find that people cannot take their children to school. I see children at 8 a.m. when I'm doing my morning walk. I ask them, what are you doing? I was in school, I was told to go back home. Why? I do not have 100 shillings.
Oh.
100 shillings.
No.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Another thing, people are getting annoyed, is agriculture. The president, William Ruto, has got good intentions about fertilizer. I stay in the rural areas. I move quite a lot. For the last 12 years or 18 years, I've been in the field. I have never seen an agriculture officer. It is easier to see a locomotive driver. It is easier to see the captain of a moving vessel, of a ship, than to see an agriculture officer.
You've never seen one?
I've never seen one. So what is the use of fertilizer if nobody is telling you about your soil chemistry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't know what to plant and when and where.
Correct.
Yeah, they are not there. They are not there. You can only see them during an agricultural show.
Or when the president is around.
Yes, very smart, with a small stick, small patches of maize, which have been overwatered and over-fertilized with the government money. But then we do not need it there. We need that kind of crop in the fields.
Correct.
Yes. And again, I don't know. They have allowed, not all of them, but a few, or actually most, producers of animal feed, substandard. And when they get this animal food, which is substandard, maize production goes low. And then they don't have money to take their children to school. We need serious surgery.
Yeah.
Yes.
A whole overhaul. Lee, I want to talk more about that. And also want to talk about so many things that you've done. I mean, you have dined with queens and kings. You have ridden in the Concorde. I think half the people watching this show don't know what the Concorde is.
Concorde travels at twice the speed of sound.
Imagine that. So yes. from let's say, from New York to London is
3.5 hours.
Instead of 8 hours.
3.5 hours. Cool. 3.5 hours.
And you did that?
Yes, 4 times. I started from Bonn.
I want to hear about
in Germany.
I want to hear about
during the time of Carter.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter.
By the way, he's turning 100 next month.
Yes.
He's turning 100.
Jimmy Carter, Moi, Obote, Kaunda, they used to, and Robert Mugabe, they used to call each other 1924 boys.
Because they were all born in 24?
1924.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, a few years ago, we went to see him in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yes.
Jimmy Carter Center.
Yes, at the Carter Center.
Yes, we saw Jimmy Carter and Andrew Young.
Wow. This man is a walking, talking encyclopedia of history, folks. Lee Njiru. And this book, President's Pressman. You need to pick this up. Go to Prestige Bookshop on Mamangina Street in the CBD. Talk to my friend Ahmed. He'll hook you up. I tell you, you will not regret this read. It's so beautifully written, and the stories that Lee Njiru tells are to die for. And more stories coming up. Keep tweeting, folks, at Koinange Jeff. At Student TV, the hashtag is JKLIVE. JKLIVE takes a break. We'll be back with Lee, the man, the Concord man, in a moment. 4 times.
Yes, 4 times. Yeah.
Going where?
Yeah.